It's the story about a grub, a grubby little guy who doesn't know it yet, but he's in for a big change.
Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. He'd eat his leaves all day, have grubby things to say. When he was asked to comment on what might be one day,
he said,
I'll keep doing things my grub way. It's my way from day to day. What may be one day. Till then, I'll stick to my grubby way.
Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub went on with the way that took him day to day, thinking things that made him say, what if things worked another
and
way?
He said, I've been doing things my grub way. It's the same old stuff day to day. Perhaps there is another way, so I can change my grubby way.
Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub went on and changed his ways. Woke one day and Grub felt strange. Wrapped himself up and slept for days. Woke up again and he was amazed.
I was happy to do my bit, fit myself into where I fit. Never knew how free I could be, couldn't tell I could be me. I settled in and I did my thing. Never knew I was gonna, never knew I was gonna grow wings, living my life day to day. Now everyone can hear me say,
Grub was happy that he tried new things, so very happy he loved his wings. Recapping tonight's top stories. Grub was happy that he tried new things, so very happy he loved his wings. Back to you in the studio.
Hi everybody, and g'day you mob. How are we? Hectic day so far. Can we hear me? I haven't even checked my bloody settings and stuff. Let me do that right quick. Make sure I'm on all the right things. Seems that way. I can hear you. You can't hear me. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. As you can see in the fish tank reflection, there's a lady back there. And there's flies everywhere. You want to come and sit down and stuff or what? GRB first in the chat today. Well done, GRB. Big bucket. I know what I forgot. I forgot my proper camera, didn't I? I was wondering why I hadn't run out of USB ports, but now I know why. But that's all right. We'll make do with this camera. Probably won't be a very long stream.
Do you want that just in case it's snotty?
It's not snotty, but it's sweaty. Because it's a sweaty kind of day. Anyway, let's get back to this. New local Austin is here for it. Sure is. BJ Palmer, hello. Huawei, love you too. Who else we got here? Jen Yu, how's it? Welcome. Bloody flies. Terry, how are you, mate? Triple T. Vinoxky, how are you? Ozzo, push yelling overboard. Never. I might keel haul him, but I won't make him walk the plank. Keel haul or keel drag? I think it's called both, acceptably. Fish Dreams, how are you? And finally, after a fairly lengthy hiatus from this nonsense, I've kind of returned, but it might not be a very long stream, as I think I just said a few minutes ago. I've had the lawnmower man here today, so I couldn't set any equipment up until after he went, and then I had a fridge turn up, and I had a neighbour yelling at the fridge man and the lawnmower man and stuff. James H, you're late, mate. No bucket of kudos for you. I think I've still got crap in my hair from the lawnmower man flicking stuff at me with his whippersnipper or brush cutter, whatever you call it over there. I know we've had that discussion before. Give me one. I can just hear that stuff resonating in my sinuses. Yes, as you may or may not have been aware, the last 2 weeks I had the COVID. First time I'd got it. I've still got a bit of a cough, but I believe I'm well past contagious. I think Sarah must believe that too, because otherwise she wouldn't be sitting right there.
I'm still a bit scared of you.
Oh, I've just got to put this up because it's freaking humid. Weed whacker, weed eater. Lots of weed eaters on the planet now. It's very trendy, isn't it? All those edibles and stuff. Yellowstone, how are you? I don't know how many people we'll wait for before we do a shirt giveaway, and what process do we use? Guess a number. That one always goes good. It's easy, straightforward. Very difficult to cheat on. Terry says, I was always contagious, COVID or not. I don't know about that. I don't know what other contagious illnesses I permanently carry. Just that contagiousness, I guess. I don't know. It's people leaving, and I haven't even given a shirt away yet. Probably should tell your friends, get some more. Oh, no, you probably don't want to do that because then you limit your chances, don't you? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. Any better ideas than a number guessing game? No. Oh, Huawei's put a show up of what he got. Out of my face, so I got to unmute that one, mate. Oh, you hear everything twice. Where did it go? It's gone. No. Oh, I got this one. Yeah. Oh, he did put a couple of extra ones up.
I didn't put any extra ones.
Yeah, right.
I ended up getting sick on the weekend.
The treble. Ah, yes. Good choice. I've got that one too, Huawei. But, you know, I got all the black and white ones in it. Yeah, thanks, Jen. I've had a pretty rough couple of weeks. We've also had a COVID outbreak in the hospital where my dad is, which is highly likely where I picked it up from. So the hospital's in a lockdown, so we can't go and visit. And the nurses are being pretty dodgy and not even passing telephone calls on because they've got to take all their PPE off and put it all back on if they do the telephones. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, Dad does have a telephone in his hospital room. Surely you can dial out on those things.
Anymore.
But yeah, I don't know whether he'd actually, consciously think of, there's a telephone, I could ring my wife or something like that. Yes, I have the wept, treble, and whore out of those ones. Shouldn't take too long to get to Huawei. They ship from the West Coast, I think, don't they? San Francisco or something. Not sure. What the one that I'm giving away, Austin? Yes. It'll be a Scunge Princess shirt from her threadless thingy. There is currently only 5 designs up there. Scungy has said that she will be putting some more up at some stage. So, if you are the victorious victor of a shirt today, and I find it highly unlikely that there's not a design on there currently that you wouldn't enjoy, you can keep checking back and let me know when one pops up that you want, your size, delivery address, all of that sort of stuff, and we'll make it happen. Be careful with COVID. My brother-in-law died from it a few months ago, and geez, crikey, BJ, I didn't know there were COVID-related deaths in your fam. But yeah, apparently there's all these new strains going on around here that are spreading. I reckon there's like 1 in 50 people in New South Wales with COVID because people aren't doing the, when I tested positive, I didn't report it. I don't even know if you're supposed to anymore.
They said they're doing referrals for PCR tests, and you don't have to. You just, if you do one of your tests and you're positive, you just keep away. But there's no real rules about isolating or anything. It's just common sense.
Yeah, right. I thought they cut the isolation down to 5 days from a week. But I was very, yeah. I was just very sick for much longer than 5 days. So I think that's quite a futile number of days to isolate for. It's a good one.
Well, it says 5 days or until you have no symptoms.
Yeah, right. I probably should have done another test, but should you do that? Like if you test negative, then you can't give it to anyone, yeah?
Yeah, I don't particularly want to take it home until the kids over Christmas.
Would you feel safer if I did a test right now? Yeah, that says yes to me. Let's do a live COVID test.
Oh, did you think you were going to get pants? Did you? Like a bit of massage do you as well. That's your favourite.
Yeah, mine, like the tests that I've got, they say 10 to 15 minutes for the result to come up. And as soon as I dropped the liquid in, it was like
Well, that's what I
two heavy
when
lines.
when we had it, it was instant. And you know, it's a similar type of thing like with pregnancy tests. And I've had that same thing, like at times when I've been checking for that and like waiting and hoping and looking at the thing, and like you wait the full time and no, still. But every time it is positive, it seems to go.
Need to do serial test to confirm, as you can have false negatives. Yeah, like they say, you can have false positives too, because that's what my dad had. He had a false positive because he had no symptoms, and they tested him with a rat test. Tested positive, but never got never got any symptoms yet that I've heard of. Oh yeah, we all know I can handle things up my nose. Bit of this. What do? You just
And I usually give it like
I know you're
a.
supposed to do that on the way out.
I even got to the point where the kids are just doing their own ones here and there. They had to do them like twice a week at school, before school, with them at home.
When did they stop the mandatory COVID tests for the kiddies? Ages ago. You're supposed to shake that around or anything. This is exciting television, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit out of practice with the old. I used to, do the old party tricks of sticking things up the nose. It's good fun, but a bit out of practice. I shouldn't be, because I still pluck my nose hairs with tweezers. I wonder, is the what's going on in there? Silica gel or something, is it? Yeah, I've got my fingertips. My skin's falling off my fingertips and even wrapped around the side. Very interesting. How long are you supposed to leave that together for? Straight away?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you leave the thing in for how long? I mean, it should say, should it not on your box, what the instructions are? Or on the back of the packet that you took the cassette out.
No, I'll just go for it.
I think the timing is like leaving the stick in the food or something as well.
Yeah, I think I did that right. I might have put too much fluid in. I think it's telling me invalid.
Yeah, no lines at all. It's not good.
No, we got a line up there. One single line on the C, negative. That's good enough for me. There we go. I'll prove it to everyone. Apparently, according to the box, that's a negative COVID test. So yeah, I can't probably get you sick. What a splendid way to kill 11 minutes on a live stream. And look, people have I'm satisfied that that's a negative All the other stuff cleared out, and it's just one line left. And I still cough, but I'm not wrenching my guts out like I was with my coughing. I'm sore, but I'm sore right round to my hips and my lower stomach and around my ribs from all the coughing up fun material and whatnot. People mustn't like watching people do COVID tests because people left again. We've got people leaving all over the place. Silly people. Phew, he's not pregnant, says Billy G. Some might argue, BJ. Some might argue. So what else has been going on? What have I missed in your worlds? Lots of stuff, I imagine. Sick, hospital. Oh, you've got art on show. Sarah's got art on show in the local supermarket. That happened after stream. I mean, in between streams, didn't it? So we haven't told anyone. Oh, no, we told people about it on Pam's stream.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, we did. We spoke about it on there, I'm fairly certain. Or you might have when I wasn't there.
I'm pretty sure I didn't because I remember that people were talking about having work up in places and I specifically didn't talk about it.
I thought that was the whole reason why we're talking about having pieces up and galleries taking commissions and whatnot when Rack was there as well. Oh, well, anyway.
I don't think so.
Pony keg growing. So yeah, Sarah's got some art on display in town here in the local supermarket of all places. She had this fantastic idea of starting a brand new trend of being the new place to exhibit artwork in the local supermarket. And I mean, why not? G'day, Paddy. How's it going?
That's not true though.
It was a little bit of a lie. That's right. Someone else's great idea. G'day, Sky. Fingers crossed we'll get a few more people in here yet and we'll do this bloody shirt giveaway that everyone's been chomping at the bit for. Is it chomping at the bit or champing at the bit?
I always think more of champing.
I mean, they're both horse references, aren't they?
Chomping? No, chomping.
The bit. The bit part of it. And the verb going before the bit. Yeah, you know, maybe horse references. BJ might know. That's right, Paddy.
At the bit is, but chomping isn't like have any horsey connotations.
When they're chomping at it, when they're getting tugged on extra hard and stuff, they probably chomp on it because they don't like the feel of it.
That's what I'm saying. I always think of it as like chomping, but it's not. I think it's champing.
That's what I was asking earlier, Huawei, if we just do, like I don't have any fancy technology like Pam uses the spinning wheel. I think
What we can do is we can write people's names on the papers and then like draw one out in front of their faces so they can watch you. We can do a number generator online, can't you?
you can, but like normally when I've done any form of prize winning or giveaways before, I've just written down a number on a piece of paper and then say it's between this and this, closest without going over wins. That's simple, isn't it? Is that a good enough way to do it? I still want to get a few more people in here, but essentially, I guess if you're in here, you're the important people who probably deserve to win a shirt anyway. That's probably just as adequate a way to look at the idea. Yeah. I reckon. I only need one person to disagree with my method and I won't use it.
Have you ever used that glass?
Yes,
Have you?
yes. But it's very, because it's a highball glass. I don't like highball glasses because they're too narrow. So it's purely decorative at the minute.
Well, here's the question. How do you feel about me washing it out and filling it up with liquids?
Go for your life. It might need,
It's got a beetle in it.
I would imagine it's got lots of different random things in it. It might need, like an actual brush going through it because you know how dusty it is out here and stuff. Method sounds rhythmic. BJ says chomping too, but I've heard both. But both heard could have just been because of people misusing it over the years. There is a like there's a dish brush in under the kitchen sink. If you want to give it a proper scrub out, but
Like a few little dusts on the bottom there. I don't know how fast I am.
depends what you're putting in there. All right, I might as well just do this, innit? I need a bloody biro. Whenever you need a biro, go to the crossword book. You probably have to use the crossword book to write it down too. But of course, there's never any blank space in a crossword book. Now, what did we say? We got how many? 12 people here now. All right, I'm not going to do any silly number ranges like 1 to 50. I'm going to do a completely normal number range between 17 and 93. So no lower than 17, no higher than 93. Now I've got to pick one. I've got no mind readers out there. They can read my thoughts. I'm going to put my number in now. Sarah, can you confirm that I have written down a number within that range?
You've actually written it between the two other numbers, but yes, you have.
So, between 17 and 93. No lower than 17, no higher than 93. Thank you, Huawei, for confirming that also. And to assuage my coughing while everyone guesses, I'm going to roll a cigarette. And like, I think it was BJ who suggested Pam's rules, wasn't it? That one won't count. No, these numbers don't count, people. Don't put your numbers in yet. I haven't typed start into the chat. Bruiser CB. Or Bruiser, you might as well play the competition. I haven't said start yet. I mean, I have said start multiple times only by referring to the fact that I haven't said start yet. Far out. No, right, just put your numbers in. I don't care. Start. All those numbers before count. Who cares? Who cares? Bruiser, we're playing a number guessing game for a Scunge Princess t-shirt. Pick a number between 17 and 93. Closest without going over wins a shirt. And, you know, Sarah will hum some background music while you guess your numbers, and Shaky will catch flies.
Actually, can I have a cigarette paper?
At least you know they don't have COVID on them now. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I was catching flies this morning and feeding them to a jumping spider, but it took him ages on his first one, and then he got scared off by the second one. Have we got a winner yet? Has everyone got a number in? Might as well put one in, Bruiser. Between 17 and 93. Now, I don't know what to do about Ozzo, because he put one in before I said start, but lots of other people didn't as well. Ozzo, you're going to have to stipulate which is your guess, your proper guess. Righto, thanks, dude. 23 is your proper guess. I'm glad you didn't go with 92, because that would have been a real silly guess, wouldn't it? Who else went early? If you went early and you're happy to stick with what you said, Fish Dreams, I don't think anyone went twice, actually, apart from Ozzy. Did you put a number in, Bruiser? Dun, 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 dun. Just going back over them multiple times to make sure. G'day, Mickham. You can win a Scunge Princess t-shirt. Apparently the cough lingers for a while. So, I'm probably going to be coffee, and I'm not sure if, can anyone else hear can you hear how nasal my voice is, or is it just how it resonates in my own jawbones? Kenny, better chuck a number in, mate. Surf City Cichlids, we're having a t-shirt giveaway right now, right this very second. Pick a number between 17 and 93. Closest to the number I have written down without going over wins a Scunge Princess t-shirt from her threadless internet shop. Only Oscars. Hopefully you heard that as well, probably because there's slight delay before I see the chat. A number between 17 and 93. It's getting exciting, isn't it? People are just going to keep. Surf City, my first one I got off Threadless was a 3XL, because, quite often shirts on internet shops are way smaller than what they should be. And the 3XL was monstrous on me. And I got 2XLs after that, and they're a good fit. Nice and light, summery fabric as well for down here when it's hot. Who hasn't put a number in yet? Oh my God, I should have waited another 10 minutes. The bloody viewers have doubled since I started. Surf City going with the 18. Not a bad guess for the number range. Yeah, I mean, I still wear it, but it certainly looks very, very baggy on me. Ugly, how you going? I'll have to keep repeating myself. We're doing a Scunge Princess t-shirt giveaway for all those new viewers who are just popping in. I'm looking at you, ugly man. Pick a number between 17 and 93. Closest to the number I have picked without going over will win a t-shirt from Scunge Princess's threadless store. Even though I've said it like 19 times now, I don't think I've said it the same once. I'm going to wait a little minute to make sure no more numbers pop into the chat. I'm guessing Ugly Man was the latest one in. A Scunge Princess t-shirt is the prize, only Oscars. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but this is Scunge Princess. She's not wearing a Scunge Princess t-shirt.
I don't even own one.
You do. You own
I
Redbubble ones.
do. That's true.
Um,
They're a bit biggish too.
Right, I see. Only Oscars, I think, might have been funny. Making me repeat that it's a Scunge Princess t-shirt again. Oh, actually, we better. Yeah, let's let this guy as well.
What's up, Gee?
Hi.
What's up,
I
Gee?
don't have COVID
Gee, what are you
anymore.
doing, Gee?
I don't have COVID anymore, which is good.
You don't have COVID? You don't have Rona?
Yeah. I assume you haven't been listening in the background because you just got in the background, but we're doing the giveaway for a Scunge Princess t-shirt.
You messaged me. You're like, "Am I early?" And I was like, "Yo." And then I should have. I was trying to be like, "Yeah, you are early."
I've lost my timing with my bloody 4 or 5 weeks off, whatever I've had.
Yeah.
All right. So
but I was like, "Yeah, you're early," but I was like, "Oh, I'm ready. That's cool." And then my daughter decided to do a double toe loop, triple sow cow, triple axle Lutz, and smash her face into the corner of right here in her head, into the corner of like a tiled tub, like a, ceramic tiles make a corner point, bat right in there, split her head open, was screaming and crying. These women cannot be left alone for more than 3 minutes at a time without disaster.
Foreheads bleed a fair bit too, don't they? From memory of having many forehead wounds in my time.
I've had lots. This one actually didn't bleed that much, which makes me wonder if she's dehydrated or something. But yeah, big old bruise right there, big old bruise, and it split open. So I had to administer first aid for the ladies. They're a mess. I'm telling you, these ladies are a mess, bro.
Can't take them anywhere.
Can't take them anywhere. Can't even just let them go to the bathroom on their own.
Righto. Who else? Kat McKenzie got a number in. Gaffa put a number in to win a Scunge Princess t-shirt.
Are we supposed to pick a number?
Yeah. So I want you to enter as well. Between 17 and 93, I have picked a number between there. Closest to my number without going over will win the shirt.
Oh, without going over. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Did anybody pick 55? I picked 55. Did I double it? I'll pick a different one if somebody already did. Pick a number. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel, make a deal. Welcome to Bartertown, you punks. Tina Turner runs Bartertown. Tina Turner runs Bartertown. Oh, their numbers up here at the top. I missed these numbers. Did anybody pick 55? If somebody did, rep yourself and be like, hey, don't steal my number, and I'll change mine. What's going on, man? I wasn't listening in the background. Where have you been? You had Rona.
I've had Rona. My dad's still in hospital, so we were doing
Still.
He's still in hospital. They've had a COVID outbreak in the hospital, which I can only assume is where I caught COVID from.
Yeah.
Unless I was the root cause of the outbreak in the hospital, but I have no
Way to
contact
verify
or
that.
anything with people that,
Yeah.
might have been exposed to it that might have given it to me.
Right.
So I can only assume that I picked it up from the hoster pool.
Yeah, that's wild stuff. Yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I don't like that your dad's in the hospital. That's a bummer.
I tell you who also doesn't like it is my mum. She's hating it.
I'd imagine
She's-
that she probably has a
she's-
more valid claim to that statement than I do.
Yeah, she's going through the fear at the moment that she won't see him again, sort of thing, and that's really disheartening to see and very sad to witness.
Right. Is he recovering or?
Well, he didn't get COVID. He tested positive, but he never got symptoms.
Right.
So fingers crossed with the nursing staff maintaining heavy PPE and all that kind of stuff that he's not going to get it.
Right.
But yeah, we've got a doctor spoke to mum today, not too long ago, that we need to have a family meeting about whether he goes into a care facility or comes home.
Right.
Because they don't think he's strong enough to come home to get himself around and whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, it's time will tell situation at the moment. Does anyone else need to get numbers in? Do we get this draw done and out the way? I think no one claimed you're 55, so you're right with 55. Bruiser, did you put a number in? Bloody hell, now I've lost all. I should have been writing them down as we went, shouldn't I? Now I've got to go back through the chat. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, but didn't. Can you just verify with me that that's the closest one so far? And if you see one that I don't see as I scroll back through.
What's that? Which one?
I'm talking to Scungy. Scungy's here as well.
Oh, got it.
Just because I could be a little bit blind and skip over a winning number, and I don't know. Yeah, there's Bruiser's number. I'm just scrolling through the numbers, people. Don't get too annoyed and run away. Get off me. Gaff, did you put a number in? Oh, yes, there it is. It's probably the next closest one. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now someone can cheat. Ding, 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 ding. Right. I think everyone's got a number in. Has everyone got a number in? That's just going to keep elongating this process if I keep asking that, isn't it?
It goes on forever.
Goes on forever. So let's put a stop to that. The number that I wrote down ages and ages ago was 39.
Mm.
And I believe that makes Fish Dreams our winner. with, it was like one of the first numbers entered. Oh, now I've drawn it out, and more people come into the bloody stream.
Two
That's what you
ducks came
get.
in. I think it was too late.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was already elongated. I apologise, 2 Dougs. We'll have to do another one. Another one. I can't quite do it any justice, can I? GRB also came close. Oh, actually, I think that was 2 people on 33, wasn't it? That's all right. I would have allowed it and sent 2 shirts out if that was the case. But Fish James, closest at 36, I think it was. I keep scrolling to it and then back away from it. Where was it? Fish Dreams, 36 was the closest to 39. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've scrolled up and down this list of numbers multiple times now, and I've
What
not
number
seen
did they
anyone
have?
close. 36. I think I'd already scrolled away from it again.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's close.
It's 3 away, and that's why we do competitions like this. Fish Dreams is the winner with 36. Congratulations, Fish Dreams. You've won yourself a Scunch Princess t-shirt. Excellent. Oh, Fish Room, the old New Zealand chummy old pal. Long time no see, bro. I'm better now. I got over COVID. Got it for the first time. Blake's Aquatics here as well. I feel maybe I was missing someone else's stream or something. But anyway, Fish Streams, you need to send me an email. Dr. Black, DRBLACK66, same as my YouTube channel, at Gmail. Huawei has posted the link there in the chat, scunchprincess.threadless.com. Go on Scungy's Threadless site, choose which shirt you want, what colouring, what sizing, delivery address. You'll need to provide that to me as well. Get a big shrimpin', and we'll get it sorted. And like I did say, if there's a design up there, which I find it very hard to believe that you won't find one that you enjoy, Scungy will be adding more in the near future, and your prize will remain valid until you select one that you want.
Is the scunch hiding in the background? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's what she always does. That's her modus operandi.
Very sneaky. I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Hey,
I
howdy.
don't know where this my in-camera.
What's happening?
Not a lot. I went
No.
drawing.
You're just doing some drawings? All right. I like it.
A bit like sleepy, actually.
Are you sleepy? Is it nap time? It might be nap time. I could go for a nap right about now.
Yeah.
It has been a long day. And then that was very exciting with my daughter smacking her forehead. That was fun.
Mm.
It always is.
It's a thrill a minute, you know.
I remember
With these children's, you know.
when my oldest son was very young, and we were living in a very small, cramped environment, and the 2 boys were on. We only had the 2 boys at the time, and the oldest one was on the top bunk, and he fell out of the top bunk, and smashed his chin on the bed frame, and put his bottom teeth right through his top lip.
Yeah.
That was a fun one in the middle of the night to wake up to. Thump, scream, wah, blood. And that
Yeah,
was
I
a
did
lot
that
of
quite. I
blood.
did that quite a few times when I was a little guy.
I had lots of blood the other day. My son stepped on a mosquito coil stand,
Hmm.
sliced his foot open, and there was a considerable amount of blood and pools of blood on the ground. But then the dog came, and she thought that was a delicious treat, and she
Shit.
drank up the blood puddles before I got to them. So
Oh, how delightful!
it really was.
Yeah, dogs are gross.
Yeah. I mean, it was fresh blood.
What if she gets a taste for it and becomes
That's
a vampire dog?
Yeah.
That's true. But don't we all have a taste for it, right?
I'll eat my own. You get a wound and you put it in your mouth to stop the bleeding, but the more you suck on it, the more it bleeds.
Yeah. Is that what
But,
happens?
yes, because you prevent clotting, because you enable free movement and flow of the blood.
Dilute it a bit with your spit, probably.
I think, and I could probably count the number of times on one hand that I've inadvertently or advertently ended up with someone else's blood in my mouth.
Yeah.
Not exactly a fun thing to get involved in. What a great topic we're on to. Thanks for that, Sarah's dog.
Is that a bad topic? We're not supposed to talk about that. Sorry, we got to talk about fish stuff. Hey, man, I saw a fish earlier today.
I moved one. I moved one this morning.
Yeah.
Because my 3x2x2 fish tank that hasn't had anything in it for ages. And I've always been surprised at how it's never had mosquitoes in it, wrigglers in it. And I was looking in it today because some of the plants, the pothos and philodendrons that I've got hanging out of it, were looking a bit withered, and all of their roots weren't quite reaching the water. So I've looked in there to assess the root situation and saw it to be full of mosquito larvae. So I moved one of the mosquito fish from this tank into that tank to try and take care of them. So moving fish, one fish at a time.
One fish at a time.
That's the way to do it.
It is. It's a smart way.
I've got
Can
about.
shrimp eat mosquito larvae?
They probably can if they catch them.
How are mosquitoes everywhere?
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was
How
having
do they get wherever they're from? How did they get everywhere else? Because there's no koalas here.
In the water.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because they're endemic to everywhere except Antarctica.
I think that's just because it's too cold, right?
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, that's right. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day about how awful and terrible mosquitoes are and why they even exist.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, viruses need a conduit to be able to travel and to procreate and stuff. And then I realized that I look at the existence on this planet from a completely human-centric position, that I wasn't considering a virus's need to reproduce and stuff. It was very, very self-centered of me.
Yeah.
And ignorant
God,
that I
it's
hadn't
so
considered.
ignorant. You should take viruses into account next time you think of your worldview. You put your
Exactly.
worldview out there.
But I learned something that day, and that's all that counts. I learned that I'm self-centered, and I don't think enough about the smaller life forms.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's very hippie and worldly of you to consider the smaller life forms at every juncture, right?
Yeah.
Like it's bad to use like bleach on surfaces because you're killing bacteria. You better stop murdering the bacteria, right?
That's like the numbers too. That's mass murder, man. That's not
Wow.
just a couple of willy-nilly killings. That's a mass murder, almost
Yeah.
genocide.
It's a genocide.
G'day, bitcher.
It's a bacterial genocide.
That's a good name for a band.
Yeah, probably. I wonder if that band exists. It probably does. They probably play. They're probably like a real jam band style, sort of Grateful Dead, Fish. It's just a never-ending. It's one song that's an hour and 50 minutes long, and then they just kind of forget that they're playing, and that's the end of the show because they forgot. Uh-oh, I hear more crying.
Email received, Fish James. Fish James has already been shopping and selected
Hold
the
on.
shirt. And
I
everything.
hear more freaking out. I'll be back.
Dance Dragon. Light pink XL regular unisex. I'll get that organised for you ASAP. Thank you. Thanks for being rapid on the uptake too, Fish James. I'm assuming the excitement of winning. You go straight to the shop and get it sorted. So yeah, I'll get that sorted for you as soon as I can after the stream. And yeah, I don't know if you want to, when you receive it, do us a quick video or something, or send us a video and I'll pop it in a video. Hopefully Huawei does the same when he gets his. And someone else buy one.
Bob bought
Bob,
two.
that's right. Bob bought it.
I'm excited to see Bob.
We'll get Bob to do the same as well. What are we watching at the moment?
Those guys are going full Tropic Thunder over there. I'm telling you. What's going on?
Blake's asking about what we're watching. Scungy wants to show some art.
Wow.
I kind of think everyone should really see that one too. That's pretty fantastic. So we'll chuck a bit of Scungy's art up in front of the camera.
I'm in front of the camera, but I'm far, far away.
Ooh.
You just can't see them. I'm getting disappointed by showing them on the things.
That's why the first thing you need to do is just take photos of them and then email them to me so we can show them as pictures.
Even then, they look mostly good in scan.
Well, same thing, but you don't have access to a scanner between drawing and here, is it?
It is not.
Yeah, I haven't had a look at Wednesday yet. Blake, I've heard it's not too bad. I'll hold this one up. Oh, hang on, I haven't bloody soloed it. Yeah, you can see good enough. You're all on massive screens. G'day, George. George, the man who forgets who Blacky is. I'll probably never let you live that down, George. I felt so dejected.
Okay,
Scungy says she has a plan. I don't know what it's about, though. About the red one or the other one? The one that...
I don't know about the other ones. Since you can't see them properly.
We could try that. Although through Facey is not the best, is it?
Huh.
but it's worth a shot in it. Oh, I didn't even see where I downloaded it to. Downloads. No, let's go into there. This is awesome television again.
Man. This crazy nonsense.
Huh.
What's up?
I don't know. I can't find my Zoom control. Oh, yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, that's
there you
going to
go.
be even worse.
Yeah, that's crap.
Not the best way to do that, but we tried. We experimented.
Experiments. Why not?
I wonder though if it works better if I do that. No, because it's all glary and shit.
I'm probably gonna have to go.
Righto.
It's all 3:30 and shit.
Are your boys on school holidays yet?
I got one on school holidays and one will be due home before I get home now.
And then on holidays.
One more day. He's got one more day. He should have 2 more days. But the last day they're going to like the big trampolining place and he doesn't want to go. So
Soren or Lakey.
Loki.
Yeah, it seems odd.
I know, it does.
I could understand Soren with a sliced open foot.
No, Loki's a bit, he's been a bit unhappy, that fella.
Should show him some Paddy Pemblet fights. Are you familiar with any UFC fighters?
Me?
Yeah, anyone who's willing to listen to me rabbit on with nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with some of them. Who?
There's this young Scouser lad from England called Paddy Pemblet, Paddy the Baddie.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit about Paddy for sure.
He's good fun, but to me he looks very, very similar to Sarah's younger boy.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, I mean she's his mum, so she probably doesn't see it as much as I do. But when he's doing some of his fun movements and stuff, I can just see her boy in him as well. So okay. Oh, I don't really keep sending you videos, do I? I sent you one video.
Wow.
But yeah, there's probably multiple moments where I could have sent many pictures where he resembles young Loki ridiculously similarly. Pardon me. But yeah, he's a good fun fighter. And, he's doing the Conor McGregor thing where he's all mouth and talks a big game. But thankfully the lad can back his mouth up as well. Because it's fun when a fighter talks a big game and then they fight like shit and get flogged. But it's also fun when they talk a big game and they can actually perform.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good as far as I can tell. But, I mean, the issue with MMA, realistically, is like there's no longevity there,
No.
Like there's not going to be a guy or gal who's really dominant for a really long period of time, Like,
yeah,
they just get...
You got to keep learning. And the problem with it is that people learn you as well big time. There's so much video that they can review and learn your weaknesses and whatnot. So if you don't evolve as a fighter, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, and I mean, just the... well, I mean, it's in the name, but it being mixed martial arts is that, like, there's so many different forms of striking and being hit and thrown around and all that kind of stuff that there's really not like a lot to like really prepare for necessarily, as far as like Like there's that one guy. Who was it? I don't know if it was Ben Askren or somebody like that. There's the guy he was fighting came out and just hit him with a knee within like
The first
4
strike
seconds.
was the flying knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just came flying out and annihilated that guy. And then, you're like, that dude just suffered. He probably just lost a couple years off of his life,
Yeah.
because like we know. Well, the problem is that like we know the outcome of like intense fighting, right? Like you do
Yeah.
get punch drunk, you do get brain damage, you do lose like a significant portion of your life. And I think what ends up happening is that a lot of those guys, that ends up happening during their career. Like they're starting to lose the ability to like train and recover and do all that stuff. And then, it's like, oh, he's got a weak chin now. It's like, no, he has brain damage. And whenever you hit him, he just gets knocked out. We're like, that's brain damage. It's not a
Well,
weak,
I think Askren's because I think Askren just left the UFC after that, where he got smashed with that knee.
I think so.
And I think
he's
his
just
next
done.
fight after that was it a Jake Paul fight or one of those YouTube fights? And he just got destroyed in that as well. He'd given up on fighting and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he ever fought one of the Pauls. Did he? He might have, but yeah, I don't know.
It was some overly hyped, excessively hyped nonsense fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sarah's gonna go wave bye to Sarah, and Sarah will wave back.
Go take a nap for me on my behalf.
All
I
right,
heard the
she'll
tweet.
go and- I don't know if
Me too.
if we're still going. Will you pop on?
Maybe. I won't be able to have a nap. I will have to make dinner at some point, but I'll just see how I go. Depends if you are on or not. So.
All right, I'll be back in a sec.
George says it looks like he's confused. Yeah, I was reading some documents that were sent over to me that made me make that confused face of like, it's more of a damn it face. So, long story short, for you guys out there, I don't know. I recognize some names, so I'm sure some people know what's going on. But, Vicky and Olivia and I, we moved up here to a new house that we knew had some projects. There was a lot of projects that we had to do to this house. Although functional, it's an older house. It was built in the 50s and had been kind of remodeled by some pros, some DIY, some of that kind of stuff, whatever. But we bought this house right at the so we were basically trying to buy a house during the pandemic, right? And we encountered a lot of problems with buying a house because it was crazy. It was just insane, just insanity. Long story short, it was extraordinarily difficult to buy a house during that period. And this was sort of the last house we were going like, look, we're putting in an offer here. If we get this house, we get it. We were just so exhausted by that point that it was like, this is it. This is the last straw. We try to get this house. If we don't, we're just going to stay at our old place down south. And because there just really wasn't that. We were running out of time, basically. It's basically what it boiled down to. And at the time, a lot of people were priced out because the interest rates went up. And so it was only us and one other bidder on this house. We ended up getting this house, which was fine. Going into it, we knew we had some problems. So we put a new roof on this house. We cut down a bunch of trees. Put a new hot water heater in. I've replaced the dishwasher, the washer, the dryer, the dishwasher, which the washer, dryer, dishwasher, all that stuff I got from another job site. Some rich people remodeling their house had like new appliances that they were getting rid of. So I got those, which was a huge boon. That's awesome. Totally rad. big help. And then I gifted away the other appliances to people that needed them. So, amongst other projects that are ongoing here, like building a fish room, blah, blah, there's just like a million things going on. So, over Thanksgiving weekend, which is a couple weeks ago now, we put some yams. If you guys know what yams are, do you guys know what yams are? They're delicious. But I put some yams out in the garage because it was freezing temperatures in the garage, so cold enough to keep food in there. And when I went to go get the yams out of the garage after them sitting out there for a couple days, one of the yams was half gone, was eaten by a little dirty rat bastard. So I went on a killing spree. I murdered at least one rat that was in the garage. So now the paranoia kicked in, and we've started to go around looking through the entirety of the house, going like, my God, where are they getting in? How did it get in? What's going on here? We got to figure this out. Now, when we bought this house, we had a full pre-inspection done by the seller, by a reputable company that they published so that you could take a look at all of the issues that were found. One of the issues that was heavily highlighted was the fact that the attic area had been re-insulated and was good to go. No problems up there. I am not a huge fan of breathing in blow-in insulation. So when it came to looking in, I kind of popped my head up there. I saw all brand new insulation, was like, it should be good to go. Okay, legit. Trust it. I had a guy go under the house, look at everything under there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Everything's good under there. Realistically, I should have gone under there myself, but when we were here on the property, we only have about 25 minutes to look around, and then someone else was coming to look at the house. So you have to come in, look around at everything, and go away. Oh yeah, another thing I've done, I've already changed out the electrical panel, and I'm slowly going through the house, eliminating the terrible electric work that's been done here. So we're going through now. Thanksgiving weekend, I had to go up and run a coax cable to an antenna so I could watch the football game. Now, I moved some of the insulation up there because I'm up there. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, baby. I got to get a coax cable. I got to hook up my antenna. So I'm rustling around up there. And as you kind of have to clear the insulation away, I clear away the blow-in insulation to reveal some black fiber insulation. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. Why would this be under here? That makes no sense. Now I got to dig to the bottom and find out what's going on. Underneath the black layer was an old pink layer, which I think was the original. Actually, 3 layers of super old, or there's 2 layers of super old insulation and a layer of brand new, fresh, clean blow-in over the top of it. Now, the old insulation has tunneling in it. And if you know what tunneling is, that means that rats got up in there and they make tunnels through the insulation, and they poop and pee all through the tunnels. They're disgusting creatures, and they suck, and they're the worst. But that was all old. It seemed like that had been a very long time since that had happened. So I went, okay, this is a priority to get checked out. I'm not going to be the guy who removes all the insulation, so we got to start getting some companies out here to give us some bids. Well, so far, the most reasonable bid was $11,893, which I'm sure will end up being over $12,000 by the time they're done. So that's the best bid. The other bid is $18,000. So it's a real just a kick right in the scrotum, right around Christmas time to go like, oh my God, we got to get this insulation out. So that
is it just to remove insulation or put new stuff in as well?
You got to put new stuff in. So this includes under the house, so all of the crawl space, a new moisture barrier, redo a couple of the vents that are screwed up down there, redo a couple of the vents that are upstairs, reseal everything, disinfect everything, deodorize everything, then do new insulation. So it's the whole deal. And as you sign a contract, the most it can escalate is 10%. So, while there might be some minor increases,
It's capped at least.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like the worst case scenario. They come back and I just say, well, then cancel the contract because this is ridiculous. It's in the contract. You can't escalate, and it's Washington State. Anyhow. So yeah, the thing is, like, we could remove all the insulation, but it is cold here, right? It's cold here, so you better have an insulated house, or you're gonna have problems. So, that's the current state of affairs. That's why I was looking confused, because I'm more just making a I'm pissed off face. And the other bit I was looking at, because the thing that we wanted to do is replace the garage doors here. So, a part of our building here is a 3-car garage that was an addition that was done in 1991, I think. And the garage doors, I think, were probably salvaged or something at the time. I don't know. They're really old garage doors. They're very heavy. They don't really do what we want garage doors to do. So that was going to be our big thing, was to get those garage doors replaced. Now I think we're probably going to have to put that off, because it's $5,000 that just won't have after this insulation BS. So, it's a mess. It's a bit of a mess. But what are you going to do? You're supposed to stay optimistic no matter what happens, I think, right?
That's what they say. And it just means you've got something to look forward to spending your money on in the future.
Oh, yeah. It's just a real charmer, because I need the new garage door to get the fish room going. So, yeah. Because I'm walling off and sheetrocking and finishing one of the bays of the garage to be the new fish room here, which I think YouTube people are interested in, because I need to get fish tanks going, and that's where they will be. So right now it's whatever the temperature outside is, it's that temperature in there. So I obviously can't do fish tanks. Yeah, and Vicky just had breast cancer, as Huawei was saying. How's Vicky doing? Vicky just had breast cancer. So let's see, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, whatever the hell date that was, the 22nd. When was Thanksgiving? The 24th, right? Yeah. So yeah, the 22nd of November, Vicky had, I don't know what you call it, super invasive surgery for having breast cancer. She had a mastectomy and multiple, lymph nodes removed, amongst other stuff, reconstruction, blah blah blah. You guys know the drill, right? You guys know all about it, right? So far so good. She still has a lot of healing pain, but she's getting along on some Tylenol every 5 hours or 6 hours or something like that. So still a lot of aches and pains and recovery stuff to deal with there, but all of her bandages are off, and the port is no longer there. She doesn't have a drainage port, which is good. She was very mad about having the drainage port, and so they have like a compression bandage now that they apply this little suction machine to it, and you have to carry around that suction machine 24/7. You have to have that thing with you all the time. That was driving her nuts. So, as far as the oncology reports go, they are claiming that they got everything. They are confident that they've got everything before it started to spread. Although they said it had begun to spread with the, they basically take all that flesh, that a pound of human flesh, and they dissect it and find out where it's going. So the reason that they take out the lymph nodes, if you guys don't know, the lymph nodes are basically the drainage system of all the crud throughout your body. That's why when you get sick, your neck gets all swollen and your armpit, all those, there's lymph nodes all around. So they rip all those out to find out if the cancer spread there, because that's where it goes first. So they take those out and then they biopsy those to find out if cancer has gotten in there. And Huawei wants to know how Olivia's holding up. She's very emotional. She's 4 years old. She's just freshly 4. And so I think there's a lot of emotion around the surgery and all that stuff. And also being 4. Like 4 is chaotic for the minds of a 4-year-old is just
Well, it's chaotic.
It's
chaotic
just,
on a daily basis, let
Yeah.
alone having major life interruptions like this.
Yeah, just having all that kind of weird stuff going on is enough to sort of set off the child alarm quite a bit. So, but she's getting along pretty good. I mean, she is I don't know. I feel like all parents are like, my kids are the best. So I try not to like play into that too much, but I don't know. I hang around all of the other 4-year-olds and she seems like one of the bright ones in comparison to the other children who shall remain nameless. But yeah,
it's a hard game not to play that one.
Yeah. She's quite a little cutie patootie, although the smacking her head on the thing today might leave a little scar on her forehead, but that is what it is. But she is a princess through and through. So no, I don't have a tomboy daughter, so I don't know if she's going to be doing any rough and tough stuff. We'll see. We'll see as time progresses here, but she's definitely, everything's pink, everything's princess, everything's unicorns, fucking rainbows everywhere, all that crap. So yeah, it's great. I mean, she's a good kid. I mean, needless to say, I love her a lot. So there's
Do
that
you
too.
though? I'm not sure by these words that you're saying. I'm not entirely convinced.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say, like, the weird thing about having a family is that it's great, it's fantastic, but there are certainly times where you find yourself as a dude. I don't know what it's like for anybody else, but as a dude, you find yourself like, why am I like super depressed right now? I do not understand it. I don't know what's going on. And you start to realize, like, hey, all my time is encapsulated by taking care of other people and going to work to take care of other people and then driving home to take care of other people and then taking care of those people and then not going to do anything because I got to be here. Otherwise, those people will probably kill themselves. I don't know, on accident, not on purpose, but they'll fall and smack their head on things and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure most dudes go through that exact same vibe. So it's probably not unique to me. But it really is just, I was honestly, the thought crossed my mind today was like, I just want to go fucking work on a YouTube video. That's all I want to do. I just want to go shoot those extra scenes and just sit and edit and do the sound shit and do the voiceover and make sure that the script is right. That's all I wanted to do. But alas, I had to bend conduit and attach it to a concrete wall and cut wood and make a thing and then have a meeting and then go over here and fix that thing that's broken and then start doing measurements on an addition for a thing that's over here and drive around and scratch my butt and have lunch, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm sure every dude goes through this at some point in time. And some guys make the choice to go out and get milk and never come back. But I'm not that dude. So, yeah, I'll just have to suck it up and, what do you call it? Make hay,
Is milk the modern equivalent of the old he went out for a packet of cigarettes and never came back?
That's the old one is go out for milk. The old one is go out to get a gallon of milk. That's the old one. I think the new one is pack of cigarettes. Oh, I gotta go get cigarettes.
Right.
I wonder what the new one is now. I gotta go film a TikTok.
And then never come back. I'm still waiting for Dad's upload.
For Dad's upload?
Yeah, because Dad said he was just going out to film a TikTok, and he'll be right.
Oh, that's
back.
right. Yeah, I'm waiting for his upload. Yeah, I got it. I wasn't tracking well. I'm sorry. It is my Monday or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's what's the deal with being a dad? It's like trying to parallel park in downtown. Ugh, nobody wins, right? Yeah. But you have like 300 kids, right?
Give or take.
You have 3 boys, right? 3 boys?
I have five boys.
You have 5? Oh my god. I think
Three.
you have 3.
3 live down the road from me, and then I have
Okay.
twin 10-year-old boys with a different lady.
Ah,
And they have recently moved from Melbourne to Brisbane, which is a hell of a lot closer. Brisbane's only, where they live's only an hour and 45 minutes away, whereas Melbourne's like a 24-hour drive away.
or an airplane ride.
Or yeah, two and a bit hours on an airplane.
Right.
And yeah, their mum sort of, she's a diagnosed bipolar person, and she's needing a little bit more assistance with the twins. So yeah, now that they're a bit closer, I'll probably have a little bit more involvement in their life than just occasional telephone calls or video calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Video calls with young kids on these modern day apps can be quite a painful experience, though, because all they want to do is fiddle around with filters and all that
Right.
nonsense. And
Like, you're a unicorn. Ah, oh, look,
Yeah.
you're a princess. Just like,
what can we giggle at next?
trying to talk
Yeah.
to you. Stop pushing the button at the bottom. Oh, we're frozen. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'd say be overseas with the little girl who's just fiddling with the buttons, and then all of a sudden the phone just is like, it's running around. It's just, the phone's just running around. It's like, it's just waving about because they've just got it in their hand and their arms going flailing. And you're like, I don't know what's happening right now. There's some giggling and movement, a lot of dizzying movement. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't understand the concept of what you can and can't see.
That's funny. Where's the milk?
That would have been even funnier if he was that prepared that he actually did return with milk.
Yeah, like a year later. Oh, yeah. Here's that milk.
That could probably be a premise for a reasonable script if you could fill in all the blanks in between.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good like final scene, I guess, in a film or something. I guess, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Movies are fickle, All the other stuff would have to be so good.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day. Who was it? Never mind. I can't remember what I was thinking about. I had a thought there for a second. It just went away. Something about older movies. What was it? Some of those older, like Adam Sandler movies, like
Little
Nicky. Yeah.
It's funny we both went to that one first.
Yeah. Like that movie has a ton of good one-liners in it, but I was thinking about it, like just the premise of that movie is so ridiculous. Like, I don't know how you would ever even like get away with just pitching that movie, right? Let alone like Harvey Keitel's going to be the devil, right? It's like Patricia Arquette's going to be my weird, awkward girlfriend, which I don't really know how that's going to work out, but we'll figure it out.
I think because most of them were Adam Sandler movies still involving Lorne Michaels, or was it just his first few where Lorne Michaels probably just went, this Saturday Night Live cast person's getting a lot of traction, so let's try and make a movie or something like that.
I don't
And
know
then
if Lorne Michaels was really involved. Didn't he get fired from Saturday Night Live?
Lorne, doesn't he bloody own it? Isn't he just?
No,
isn't
no,
he-
Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, I think Adam Sandler got fired from
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live probably because he just wanted to branch out and do all of his Happy Madison movies without Lorne Michaels telling him how to do them.
Right. I just don't know if Lorne Michaels had any involvement in the early makings.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if he
He
did
might.
or not. I don't know.
Sandler might have been one of the SNL guys who didn't have Lorne Michaels' input. Whereas
Yeah, I
Joe
don't know.
Dirt, I think Joe Dirt was a Lorne Michaels
Yeah, I think
produced
so.
movie. There was a few of the other ones. Deuce Bigelow. I think that was a Saturday Night Live movie as well.
Yeah, probably. I wonder what Saturday.
Yeah, I mean there was that stage through the late 80s and right through the 90s, I guess, where there was a bunch of pardon me, movies coming out of the Saturday Night Live cast and stuff that were just like cash cow sort of things, but not necessarily.
Saturday Night Live has produced exactly 8 pictures, though 2 had sequels, 1 too horrible to list. Actually, some of them are pretty good here. The Blues Brothers in 1980. Wayne's
Was that
World.
the first Lorne Michaels produced movie?
It might be. It seems to be.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is just like Saturday Night Live produced. I don't know. Wayne's World 1 and 2, so Blues Brothers, Wayne's World 1 and 2, big hits. Then the Coneheads, big hit. It's Pat, not so much.
Never heard of it.
Stewart Saves His Family, not so much. A Night at the Roxbury, I think A Night at the Roxbury was pretty big.
That's the one that started that shit, wasn't it?
Superstar.
Don't know that one.
And 9, The Ladies' Man. It's actually 9.
Superstar, was that the cheerleading one with Will Ferrell and Cherry O'Terry?
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
it was it? All right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe I could look up Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels, what are you doing? Okay, let's see.
That wasn't a bad Lorne Michaels.
Oh man, so
impersonation.
Lorne Michaels has produced a lot of movies. Okay, so here we go. This is lengthy. Gilda Live in 1980. So I think that was the beginning. It was just the Gilda Radner, her special, which, okay, I don't know if that counts as a movie, but it's an hour and a half long, so there's that. Okay, Three Amigos, that's
Quality.
big time. That's big time, baby. That's so good. That's unbelievably good. Tommy Boy. Yeah, The Ladies' Man, which was just not good.
What was Tommy Boy? That was Chris Farley, was it?
Yeah, Chris Farley and what's his name? The little guy. What's his name?
David Spade.
David Spade, yeah. And that one's pretty good. That one has a lot of good. I mean, the script is good. The script is good as far as like beginning, middle, end. Like that all makes sense. It follows a good trajectory. There's a lot of crazy, funny scenes in that. So legit. Hot Rod, which admittedly, I think the first time I watched it, I didn't think it was funny at all. And then like 10 years later, I think I watched it and was like, this is actually kind of ridiculous.
I don't think I know that one.
I think I watched it on an airplane. That's the one with oh God, what's this? I can't remember anybody's name. The guy. What's the guy's name? Andy Samberg plays a he plays a stuntman who's like a failure stuntman. Never became a stuntman. You ever see that one? I watched it on an airplane, and maybe I
That's
maybe
still
I
Hot Rod you're talking about.
What's that?
That's still Hot Rod you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm completely not familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's Andy Samberg He plays this like young guy who thinks he's gonna be a stuntman, like Super Dave Osborne, but he's not at all. I watched that on an airplane like 3 or 4 years ago, and actually was just laughing at all the ridiculousness of it. So I don't know. Maybe I had airborne sickness or something. MacGruber, The Guilt Trip, Staten Island Summer. I don't think I've ever seen that. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Brother Nature, and Masterminds is like the newest. It seems to be the newest one. No, what? Vampires versus the Bronx, apparently, also. So, like, some hits, some not so good. Oh, I remember Masterminds. That actually was kind of fun. Had Zas Galifianakis and the blonde guy. What's his name?
I don't know this film.
It's pretty funny. Owen Wilson. It's pretty funny. They're like idiot
What's it
bank
called?
robbers, basically. Like
Mastermind.
really dumb bank robbers, and it's pretty good. Zas Galifianakis. You know that guy, right?
Only by that name.
Yeah.
He's responsible for earning Scott Aukerman 2 Emmy Awards.
Mickham says, to us here in snowy Scandinavia, the Die Hard movies are classic Christmas movies on TV. That's the same here. You guys are doing an American thing.
Isn't it just the first one that's a Christmas movie?
Yeah, but if you play the first one, you can play all the other ones after.
I suppose.
Network
It's
TV,
the
baby.
gateway Christmas movie.
Network TV, baby. We're gonna play all these old movies with all the good scenes cut out of it. You guys don't have that in Australia, do you?
What
Like
do you mean?
Like heavy censorship in like movies?
You used to.
You used to? Okay.
Well, I don't. Certainly don't. I've probably not watched a movie on commercial television for a long time, but
Well, yeah, me neither.
I can certainly still remember.
Well, it's like when I was a
being
kid.
cut and F's and
Yeah.
S's being dubbed out and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, because when I was a kid, that was all dubbed out. Like it would be dubbed out or it'd just be cut out. Like scenes would just be missing because there was boobies in there or something, you know? And as a young man, you remember like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, like there's a very pivotal scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High that will generally change your opinion about the whole nature of things. You'll be thinking about bacteria, you'll be thinking about viruses, you'll have a full spectrum view of the world, right?
I still don't think I've ever seen that movie.
You should watch it.
Will it hold up these days?
Yes, actually it does. And you'll see a lot of famous people really young.
You're right.
You'll be like, I know who that is. I know who that is. Wait, is that guy?
G'day, Fishy Mon.
Judge Reinhold is in it, baby. Judge Reinhold.
Cam's excited because you said boobies.
I know. Big fan. Except for when they try to kill my spouse. That's a bummer. And I could just slap them right off.
That's a good angle.
Get out of here. Get out of here, toxic boobies. We only like non-toxic boobies.
Toxic boobies, the opposite of toxic masculinity.
No, because I think there's toxic femininity, right?
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah. I think there's the female version of toxic masculinity, right? I think that exists.
Yeah. I didn't investigate my premise thoroughly before it came out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's all right. I feel you. Would toxic boobies be so like, is boob cancer like ball cancer, or because like cervical cancer is like prostate cancer, right? So that might be the equivalent, right?
I learned a long time ago that it's a very difficult process to engage in equivocating male and female body parts and stuff, because you're always going to piss someone off.
Well, I'm saying that the treatment's about the same, right? They're like,
Gotcha,
hey, this boob's no good. We got to get rid of it. If the ball's no good, they got to get rid of it. And there is a replacement surgery for both of them. One's a nudicle, right? It's that fake. You get the fake ball put in there, and so just
they're
you're
doing
not
that
shy
for humans
anymore.
now as well.
What's that?
They're doing that for humans now as well. I thought that was just for dogs.
I think they're doing. I know it's for dogs, but I think they do it for people. I like to call them nudicles, though. It's good.
That's a great name.
It's brilliant. It's just a matter of just sheer. I don't know. Somebody took a whole bunch of peyote and had a vision dream. Whatever you call that, and they came up with just genius nudicles. We got to do it. And Will Ferrell feels like a Swede to us here since he's married to a Swedish woman. Okay, I got to tell you, the greatest Will Ferrell movie. There it is. I always forget the name of it. The Other Guys. The Other Guys has got to be the greatest Will Ferrell movie, I think. I think it edges out a bunch of other ones. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch The Other Guys and then go watch like any of his other flicks. And you'll realize that The Other Guys, you're just laughing throughout the whole thing. Like the desk pop, like he literally shoots his gun off in the office. He like convinces his other partner, "You haven't done a desk pop? You haven't shot your gun in the office? It's a desk pop, And he actually shoots his gun off in the in the office, and like
I don't think I've seen
Batman
that
is in it. Original Batman, Michael Keaton. He plays
Batman.
He plays the police chief who's constantly referencing TLC songs. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm serious. Like you go back and watch that movie. If you missed it, go watch it. If you've already seen it, go back and watch it again because it is ridiculous. Like all of the scenes where people are trash talking the fact that they drive a Prius, so ridiculous. Will Ferrell's character was accidentally a pimp in college named Gator. It's so crazy. It's just every twist and turn. There's such funny parts. It's unbelievable. I don't know how they did it. It's Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, right? The Rock is in it at the beginning, and The Rock is so arrogant at the beginning. Him and Samuel L. Jackson die right at the beginning of the movie. In the first scene of the movie, that's how good this movie is. This movie is so good. Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock could only be in it for the opening sequence. That's it. That's how good that movie is. That movie is so good that The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson got their lines in the first 5 minutes, and then they die. Right? Dirty Mike and the boys. See, Huawei knows what's up.
My favorite Will Ferrell performance is still in Eastbound and Down. His character is just so nasty and dirty and gritty. He's wicked cool. But that show is very, very difficult to watch these days.
Eastbound and Down is a TV show, though. That's a series. I'm talking about, as you would say, films. I mean, weird dude. You a weird dude, bro. Yeah, and Will Ferrell's been in a lot of funny stuff, so that's what I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. Mickham says sacrificing Samuel L. That's right. Right at the beginning of the movie, like The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson couldn't even be in that movie for much longer. Dude, all of the sequences where where they keep getting gifted glacier water with lime in it from the bad guy. The bad guy. So there's a bad guy character in it who keeps bribing them on accident. Like they accept bribes on accident from the bad guy, like over and over again. It's ongoing, like throughout the whole thing. And he's this like super rich guy that keeps offering them, "Oh, would you like a nice glacier water with cucumber?" And they're like, "No, I don't. Actually, I'll try that." Yeah. And then they're just, it's ridiculous. I don't know. It's so funny. You got to watch it. You got to go watch that. It will change your mind about Eastbound and Down characters.
What was it called? The Other Guy?
The Other Guys.
Guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to have a look. But yeah, Cam, I agree that Eastbound and Down was such a fantastic TV show, but I imagine that these days a lot of people couldn't watch it without a lot of shuddering and wokeness and stuff.
Eastbound and Down was made like what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
No. Had to be 2010, 2011.
I guess it only ran to 2013.
I think there was only 3 or 4 seasons.
So I've always argued this, that like people will be like, "Oh, you couldn't make that show now," and it's like you couldn't make that show then, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's a pretty good argument.
you
for
weren't
it.
allowed to make that show then. Like no one was like, "Oh yeah, do a bunch of crazy nonsense." You know, it just worked. It was good, and it worked. So
It's potentially the one show that I have, sat with my phone and recorded clips of the show more than any other show.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many good bits in it that are just so over the top and ridiculous and just
Right. Well, it's like
extra
if you go back and watch Blazing Saddles, there's a bunch of stuff in there that you can't say now. But here's the thing: you couldn't say it then. Like, are you kidding me? Like, everything was way more strict back then, as far as like you're making a movie, about.
Well, everything
You can't make fun of racists in movies. Like, what are you doing? You can't make fun of racist cowboys. Like, John Wayne is the king of movies or whatever, and they basically just ragged on that dude all over, up and down. Like, but they weren't like, no one gave them permission to make that movie. They made it, and then it was successful, right? Like, It was funny, it was well done, and it was successful. Like, no one gave permission to make Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like, all of those kids die in that movie, and it's a kids movie. Like, what? Like, no one gave them really, like, no one was like, we'll give you carte blanche to make a movie. It's fine. Do whatever you like, sir. Like, like no one was like, just do whatever. They just made it, and it was good. I mean, the psychedelic freak out tunnel ride on the boat. Like, are you kidding me? I know how many kids are like still traumatized to this day whenever they hear that song come on the jukebox, which, by the way, you can play in the States. If they have that like digital jukebox, you can find that song in the digital jukebox, and it'll freak out somebody in the crowded place will be like, "Oh dear God, what have you done?"
Yes, Wilfred is another good one, Cam. Both the original Australian version and the American version.
Yeah, Wilfred was rad.
Such a good concept.
I'm so pissed that they stopped making Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. That was a revelation. It was a revelation of awesomeness. Those books are fantastic, and I'm so mad that they're not making those. They canceled it. They canceled it.
I liked how the English version and the American version were vastly different takes on the books. They were such different shows that they could almost be watched as separate entities.
Oh, the Wilfred?
No, Dirk Gently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they go so... They're just so crazy. But, like, I'm sad that the new one, that season 3 got canceled. It just bums me out. It bums me out hard.
That is,
but I do have to admit that I'm gonna have like a what's the who's the guy who played Frodo? What's his name?
Tobey Maguire, Elijah Wood.
If Elijah Wood's in something, I'm gonna be generally interested, probably, because he's such a little weirdo. Like, it's probably gonna be pretty good. So I'm always like kind of interested in whatever that guy's going to be in.
Yeah,
plus he got he got the $1 billion, so he sort of like has permission to be in really weird stuff now, right?
Yeah,
like he's not going for a paycheck.
Always got the feeling watching him in Wilfred that was like possibly as true to life as him in real life. Like I always accepted that he's probably a highly neurotic, psychologically disturbed kid.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine that's like the deeply hidden side of himself more often than not, right? because he's got to stand around and like shake people's hands and smile and stuff and act like a normal person. But then he's like, no, I get to be the not normal me. That's fine.
I thought there already was a Wolf Creek 2 Huawei. Surely you mean 3. There's been 2 Wolf Creeks. I haven't seen the second one, but I know it's out. I mean, it's been there. It's been released. It's been made.
Wolf Creek. I don't think have I seen Wolf Creek?
It's a pretty good one. It's a good scary movie. Australian serial killer in the outback.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You know,
John
Vicky
Jarrett.
Vicky makes me watch that kind of shit, and I don't. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the horror stuff. You know, honestly, just because like, I don't know. I mean, I like horror stuff that's like plausible, right?
Wolf Creek's probably pretty plausible.
Yeah, I mean,
Deep in
serial
the
killers don't
Australian
really
outback.
serial
Random
killers don't really
tourists.
get away with it for that long, though. You know what I mean? Like somebody shows up and starts looking around. You know, these days. I mean,
Oh,
I feel like 100 years ago you could probably get away with a lot for a long time if you wanted to, but these days somebody's looking around. There's a camera somewhere.
Oh yeah, Fish Dreams. After everyone's, that's the one that everyone was like hassling me about for ages to watch. I've finished that a few months ago now. It was good. It was quite enjoyable. Yeah, The Last Kingdom. Tell you what disappointed me though was The Northman. That was so hyped up, and like it was a good action adventure old timey movie, but yeah, it was probably overhyped by the time I got around to it.
Oh, The Northman.
Yeah,
I started watching.
I'm a big fan of Alexander Skarsgård, but
Yeah.
it's just like this seems probably after watching The Last Kingdom and other movies of that ilk.
Yeah, The Last Kingdom's the other like Norse
Yeah, English kiddie who was taken by the Vikings comes back to England to claim his throne.
I feel like the unfortunate thing where you're like retelling when you're like retelling history, it makes it really rough where you like have to kind of bend with these like inaccuracies in order to like shoot a show. It's like I mean, unless you have like a lot of
Documentation.
documentation and money.
You got a lot of blanks to fill in.
Yeah, you got like a lot of you know, you're kind of just making shit up, and then it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know where this is going. This guy seemed kind of supernatural. Why has this guy been stabbed 6 times? He's just an actual guy. Why does he keep getting stabbed? Is he Iron Man? I don't know. What's going on here? This is a little weird. Which is, I mean, that's why I actually enjoy. I mean, you know me. I'm like sci-fi nerd, but you know, if you talk about like fantasy and stuff, you know what I mean, or even comic book stuff, it's like, well, the Wolverine got stabbed 6 times, but you're like, well. I mean, he's a super mutant healing factor, right? Like it doesn't matter; he will heal. And so it's like there actually is a plot that sort of makes that accurate. Well, it's why I still my boycott of the Titanic still holds strong. Intentionally never saw that damn movie because the boat sinks. Right? You know the boat sinks.
I've never seen it in its entirety.
What's that?
I've never seen it in its entirety because
I boycott it. I'm still boycotting it. Even if it comes out again, I'm not going to see it.
My ex, the mother of my first 3 sons, it was like her favorite movie, and I just refused to watch it because of her enjoyment of it.
There was a point in time where you just couldn't go to a store in the U.S. without hearing Celine Dion, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was at
rubbish.
least a 9-month period. You could have had sex and had a baby by the time they stopped playing that song. Everywhere. It was just everywhere forever. I don't know. Yeah.
She's still singing that song on a daily basis in
Still
Vegas, isn't she?
in Vegas singing it Canadian style.
And people are still going and paying the big bucks. Hey, check
See,
this thing out.
Huawei's criticizing me because I like my horror movies to be plausible. Meanwhile, in a galaxy far, far away. That's right. So you can make your own universe, right? Like if you create your own universe, and here's the rules. That's why I was saying, like with comic book lore, it's like, oh, why doesn't Deadpool die? Well, he's got the super healing factor. Like it's explained in the here's why. Here's why you shoot his legs off or his penis off, and it's gonna grow back, right? Because it's explained within this is what's up. He has superpowers, but you're like, if you're doing like, oh, we're gonna do a series about Napoleon Bonaparte, right? But then all of a sudden you start having to add in all this tension of Napoleon constantly getting shot or axed or stabbed with a sword or whatever, and then you're like,
Or asking
hold
his
on,
missus not to wash.
let me crack open my history book here. Seems like Napoleon Bonaparte was never stabbed by a sword. Why is this in here? What's going on, sir? What are you doing? You know, so you have to take like a lot of liberties with those, you know, the Norse shows. I feel like this doesn't seem accurate, right? Even with
I don't know. Did you see the Northman?
even with history that's like much closer in time, people have like a wild misinterpretation of like the occupation of the United States and how they killed off natives, right? Like most average people walking around in the States just have a really cursory, sort of inaccurate, like, oh, we didn't really kill off the natives. It's like, no, we brutally went around and killed off all the natives, like for sure, to a point where like I was talking about it yesterday because I've been helping a big YouTuber research stuff, and I was reading about General Sheridan, who was famous in the Civil War for his insane tactics against the South, right? So the South hate him. The North just sort of accept that guy was a general. I don't know if anybody even really reveres him, but he was a real scumbag general that went around and like his plan was to essentially, if you take out all of the people around, like the people not in the war, the people fighting the war will stop. They'll stop fighting because everyone's dead, right? Which obviously is just a psychotic way about going about your warfare. But
still to this day, isn't it the American Civil War that cost the most lives of Americans over any other war that Americans fought in?
Yeah. It's the bloodiest.
The bloodiest.
But yeah, I mean, but that guy after the Civil War was appointed to go take out natives. Like that was his job after that. And basically, as they put in the railway across the country, he came up with all these like crazy ways of decimating the natives. Like one of the things that he did is he created hunting buffalo for fun. Basically, was like, I will just encourage people to shoot buffalo, even though they're not going to eat them or anything like that. To the point where there's actually a story of a guy who was riding the rail back and forth, shooting buffalo out of the train as the train went down the tracks, and was claimed to have killed over 5,000 buffalo, just shooting buffalo from a train as the train went by. And the reason that they were killing the buffalo was to remove the food source for the natives to continue fighting off basically people that were stealing from them and murdering them, right? I mean, that's how they saw it.
Yeah, it's good logic. Good solid logic, boys.
I mean, it's generally how most people would perceive that, right? It's not weird. Some other people show up, they murder all your family members and then tell you to leave, right? Or just murder you. So yeah, so it's like if you watch if you watch an old movie where, some people would call it Avatar 0.50, aka Dances with Wolves. It's you got the white guy who goes out there and sort of saves the natives, but then he doesn't save the natives. But it's like sort of, what is this story? It's like, huh? Where did this come from? And it's just like this weird propaganda. But yeah,
Isn't it? It's all just the Pocahontas story, isn't it? Isn't
the
Dances with
Pocahontas
Wolves?
story is actually really weird. The real story of hers is actually very odd, because she actually went to England for a long time.
Before or after John Rolfe, I think was his name, wasn't it? The whitey that she was into.
I forget. Pocahontas. I have it in my notes somewhere of going over. There's the I forget what it was. Her real name was Amanute. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that right.
Oh, it's funny. Funny you say that, Vitra. The band that I used to be in called Crow Circus, we had a song called, oh crikey, what was it called? I think it was called Buffalo Trace. It was called, and it was all about got my head smashed in Buffalo. It was this really interesting percussive melodic piece, and
Right.
they were pretty much the only words in it. Got my head smashed in Buffalo. Got my head smashed in Buffalo. And then some music and stuff. G'day, Scotty. Alien World Airsoft. Oh yeah, Fern Gully was a similar story as well, wasn't it? I know the dude who did the sound for Fern Gully. Old thalidomide baby Brett, who ran his music studio, probably still does. No arms, but he still does everything. And they did the sound in Fern Gully because that was an Australian production, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the same Pocahontas type story, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I mean the real story of Pocahontas is, it's much different. Obviously, it's going to take a long time to kind of explain it, but she wasn't ever with John Smith. I forget, like she left, went to England, came back.
I thought it was John Rolfe.
Was it? Did she go with John Rolfe? I don't know. I mean,
ROLFE?
I don't know. Yeah,
I
I
only
mean,
know that.
wasn't he the guy that wrote about her? I don't know. But either way, it's neither here nor there. My point is that Aliens and Alien are a perfect example of, you just make your own universe thing happen, right? Like you have space and you're flying around in a spaceship. No one really knows what a spaceship does or should do or shouldn't do in that universe, right? So there's really no criticism of like, what are these weird tunnels? Where are they going down? What are they doing? It's just like, no, we're just exploring a spaceship. Like that's what's happening, right? And you just assume like there is a spaceship and this is what the spaceship is like. And then they encounter an alien species. The alien species does some creepy ass stuff. Things happen. Dinners are ruined. And then you're like, okay, that's what's happening. All right, I'm in this space. This is what's up, And so it's like, that to me is like a perfect example of like, here's a horror movie that could happen, that exists in a universe that doesn't have to break its own rules or the rules of the world or the rules of history or whatever, right? And it's pretty terrifying, realistically, because everyone gets eaten. Except that one lady, Ripley.
That one tough bitch.
And that one, the kid. What's the kid?
Newt.
They mostly come out, Newt. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. I guess they're making a new Alien, actually. I think from my understanding is they're making a new Alien featuring full-grown Newt.
I thought she got killed off in the doesn't she get killed off at the start of Alien 3?
Yeah,
Resurrection?
none of that shit matters anymore
Yeah, I suppose.
because you just
They've probably discovered time travel by this point.
right. I think the plan is to pick it up as if 3 and 4 never happened or whatever. I think it's just supposed to go like
It's like
2.
Ridley Scott's dream. Three never happened.
3 never happened, right? Because I think that's the plan. Because what's her name? Ripley, played by
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver. True, still alive and older, and Newt is, I believe, still alive and older. And you could make that movie. They're like, oh, it's been 40 years. We're going back to space, baby. You know.
Gonna find some more trouble, some more acidic blood to get melted by.
That's right. Go for it. Or you could use Stargates. True.
Do you wanna see this awesome thing that my sister found yesterday?
What? Oh, look at that. Tis
like
classic.
Vintage production. I can't even find a publishing date on it. Printed in West Germany. It's got some, lovely aquarium fish on the back. And all of the advice you could possibly want about setting up an aquarium, as long as you stick to a particular brand of product that this is obviously referring to.
What brand is it?
Tetra.
Oh, it's all Tetra brand? Yeah. Okay.
Tetramin. Yeah. But, what a good system.
Ooh, Mickham says I can't get over watching some young people reacting to Terminator 1 and 2. What is that?
That chick operating the most effective modern machinery to produce Tetra's products.
Nice.
The caption for the photo says the most modern and effective machinery guarantees Tetra's output of today.
What's the name? What's the actual name of that book?
I like her factory wear too. It's like her Sunday dress just after church, and she's gone into the factory.
What's the actual name of that one? Yeah, the Successful Fish Hobbyist. I know we have a copy of it at the store. They have like classic books there.
I should auction it off, because it's no doubt it's got totally modern information and stuff in it.
1972.
That's older than me.
It's older than you. You can buy it for $4.31.
Oh, look.
I think if you're in the States, probably not if you're in Australia.
Look at this sensible advice here to put your hand under the water so you don't cloud up the tank.
You too can find one, hence the link.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be more fun to like buy it off me for an extremely exaggerated price?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'll sell it to someone for $40. No worries. I've just got to find the right buyer.
How to be a successful aquarium hobbyist from 2016 is $210. That's the one that your sister should get. How to kill your koi.
This one was just, it's my sister, when she visits at least once a week, and she just cleans rubbish and shit out of
this link right here is the greatest aquarium book of all time, if you're wondering.
I thought the greatest fish book of all time was the Bench Aquarium Atlas.
Oh, maybe.
Which reminds me, I have no idea. I mean, when I got my original, which I think was printed in 1984 or 1986, it was one book, but now apparently the Bench aquarium atlas is like 6 books
Yeah.
and like $150 a book or something.
Yeah, you're probably right. I do recall like a bunch of these old books being like outrageously priced. You know.
But yeah, I can't.
Guys,
I can't
have you become a
afford-
member on my YouTube channel? You should become a member on my YouTube channel because you can't become a member. You can't become a member on Blacky's channel, so you could become a member on my channel. How about that? If we get enough members here, I can hire Blacky to be my color commentary.
And I would take that job. G'day, Sharpie.
Right.
How are you, bro? Fishymon bids $4.31.
Yeah. My Christmas present to myself was to buy a really expensive camera because I'm just that guy right now.
Can I have your old one?
I gotta sell it.
I'll give you
I gotta-
$4.
I gotta
hang on,
sell
what
it.
was-
I
what
gotta
was
sell it. I
Fishymon?
can't afford that loss. I gotta
$4.31.
buy
I'll give you-
insulation because the rats were fucking up my insulation.
I'll give you $4.31 for it. Yeah, I'd like to get a decent camera that I can use for a webcam as well for my OnlyFans page. Because my decent camera, my Nikon, I can't use it as a webcam. I can't use it for streams and stuff, which is unfortunate.
Oh, it doesn't function as a. It doesn't have an output.
Well, it's
Doesn't
got a
clean?
HDMI output on it, but it's for playback only, so I can't just leave it sat there on
Yeah, it's not a clean.
a record pause with a
It's not a
constant
clean-
signal feeding.
It's not a clean HDMI.
So yeah, I got to find some kind of camera that I can use for that.
Yeah, I currently use the Canon RP. This camera right here. You can find them used for like $500, but then you got to buy a lens, so that's a little crazy. I think the Canon. I think the best camera for a streaming camera that's like affordable is the is it the M200? Let me see. I think it's the Canon M200. God damn, they've gone up in price.
Of course,
They've
They're
gone
very
up in
unlikely.
price because they're becoming more rare. They aren't making them anymore. There's a used one for $399, so $400. That kind of defeats the purpose. But really good video camera that is great for streaming. But man, it's hard to see them at $400. That's buck wild. What is it? Is there an maybe there's an M100? Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, well, I just spent, 2 months ago, I spent nearly $200 on a Logitech webcam that I thought was going to be heaps better than the built-in camera, and now I don't even remember to get it out when I do a live stream and just stream off the laptop camera anyway. So,
Oh yeah.
I'll go and spend $500 on a camera to use for a webcam and then forget to hook it up. That's probably
Well, you
what's
can
gonna
use it to film to record with. Just film moving that fish to the mosquito larvae. And pop that up.
Yeah, I missed an opportunity there, didn't I?
Yeah, big opportunity missed.
That would have got at least 7 or 11 views.
Yeah, probably in that range, right? In the middle of there. Yeah, well, then don't get a camera. Just use your shitty whatever then.
Just keep plugging away with my normal shit.
I might as well. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, no one complains. They don't want to see me too crystal clear.
Yeah, I mean, people gotta come with the sponsor if you're gonna be buying a $400 camera, right?
Yeah.
We gotta advertise something. The Blue Chew or something? With the Viagra chews. What are those called? Blue Chew?
Blue Chew. Yeah, there's all different versions of that. I've heard it's a scam though.
What's that? Is it? I think it's just
I don't-
Viagra and a chewable tablet, right?
Yeah, but how can you be
It's like-
sure until you've had a solid experience with it?
I guess. I mean, I don't personally use the stuff.
Well,
I mean-
thankfully, I'm Not at a
what's
stage in my life
point?
where I require it either.
What's the point at my age, right? Like who's banging that long? You know what I mean? They're just being straight with you. Like
Who wants to bang that long?
yeah, I mean, who's up for the hour sesh? Nobody my age is like, yeah, let's do that for an hour. You know, nobody's up to that. That's for
Like,
young people, and then but they don't
six
need
and
it.
a half minutes of fun. That's fucking lock it in. That's golden.
Yeah, I mean, you do like 15 minutes of fooling around. You know, like have a good goofing around, and then
That's generous.
you know, or whatever. You know, I mean, like.
At this time of year, unless you've got the air conditioning set to Baltic,
That's true.
you know, 3 or 4 minutes is long enough.
You're gonna have a heat stroke.
Mm.
I absolutely do not like my phone for photos or videos. I think I have a what do I have, like a Samsung S10 or whatever. I think it takes pretty decent photos. I don't really like the video off of it all that great, but it takes good photos. I mean, I don't know if I'd be selling them to a magazine or anything like that, but
My second oldest son was showing me some of his 30-second exposure shots taken on one of the newish iPhones, and he was doing long exposures of stars and the moon and stuff, and they looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And some other shots of like fog in the street and whatnot. Some really artistic shots. Cameras in phones are truly getting ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like my big thing is that I need really long lenses for a lot of what I'm doing, and then I need high megapixels, or I need really good resolution at a very long distance, right? And that just doesn't exist in a tiny lens. It just doesn't.
True.
Or a tiny sensor. It's just not there. I know someday it probably will be, but if phones really
Not
catch
yet.
up to no longer carrying around like this camera, right?
Or a 15-inch telephoto lens.
Yeah. Once if phones catch up to that, I'll gladly switch. But for now, it's like phones are great for like you said, those long exposures or stacked images, because they can take like 10 images at different focal lengths and then stitch them together, that kind of stuff. Like even my little DJI, I actually have the box here. These guys, the Osmo Action 3, these guys will even take stacked images now. So if I go on like a hike where I'm not taking my big camera with me, I'll just take one of those, and I can literally just find a spot where I can set it down, and then I can do the stacked images from my phone, just remotely control it and do stacked images from that. So yeah, and so oftentimes, like on my day-to-day kind of like goofing around, I just take like the DJI with me, because I can take photos and video and slow motion and time lapse and all that crap with that. So
Do you use one of those crikey, what are they called? Like you put your phone in it and it tracks and moves and keeps it steady like a steady cam. The heck are those things called? Gimbal.
a gimbal. Yeah. So the Osmo Action 3, these little guys,
Yeah.
it's built into it.
Ah, right.
It'll steady out as you walk around and wave it around. It will keep it locked in flat. You just turn it on, and it will keep the horizon flat the whole time. You can have it set that you can turn it around 360 degrees, and it'll still maintain that horizon.
Is that how these? Like, I watched a video yesterday, and it was this dude on a small parachute going down this incredibly rocky valley,
Mhm.
and he's doing all of these turns and flips and stuff. But somehow there's a camera directly behind him and it's staying level. Is he using
Yeah.
something like that on a
Yeah,
stick
probably.
that you
Mhm.
can't see, or is it a drone flying behind him, or what?
Well, I don't know if there's a drone flying behind him or whatever, but like, yeah, I mean the technology's there to keep the horizon level on certain cameras. So like GoPros will do it, Osmo Action 3 will do it. There's like the 360 cameras that you can like, but you have to do that in post to like, you can follow it around and make it all just stay in the exact same spot. But like, that's why I would say, like, people ask me like for fish content, like this is what you should get. Like for fish content, you should get a GoPro or a DJI. Like the action cameras are that good. You can do underwater stuff. You can hook a microphone into them now. They pretty much do all the stuff you need for content. And by the way, like most of my YouTube content and stuff like that is shot on action cameras because they're so small, they're versatile, and I can set up like 3 of them and get 3 different shots, right? Because they just clamp and stick to stuff. Like, I don't know if I have anything here, but like these little guys right here, it's what's called a super clamp. So this guy actually has like these jaws will like just clamp to pretty much anything that you can fit in there. So if you can find a pipe or a 2x4 or whatever, you can clamp this thing to it and have the camera and just stick it wherever you want it and have a crazy shot. Which
I got a couple of very similar clamps to that not long ago, but
these things
not used them.
they're shooting 4K 120 frames a second, like
Jeez.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So,
what more do you want?
Yeah. What else do you need? Which of course I spent a lot of money on a brand new camera. So yeah.
I'm just going to go and investigate all these crazy noises out on the driveway. A car's turned up and it seems like cars are being pulled apart. Give me a tick.
Ruffians. Sounds like ruffians and rapscallions. One day I'll figure out how to not swing left to right as I walk. I don't know what that means. I like watching Sharpie's videos and getting motion sick. Oh, okay. If you want to remove motion sickness, get a DJI Osmo Action 3. What does it say? 329 to 658 for that camera. I don't know what the 658 is, but if you're somebody that's starting out and you just want to make fish content, vlogs, just stuff that you're doing or whatever, like this kit right here, that's $439. It comes with 3 batteries. And I gotta tell you, like this charger right here, this battery charger is insane. I act like I work for DJI or something, but this battery charger takes 3 batteries, and this thing will also output power. Like it works as a battery bank also. So you can put all your batteries in here. The light tells you if they're charged. I mean, if it's red, they're not. If it's yellow, they're not yet. If it's green, it's ready. But it's just like this little guy. And I carry like a pouch with me with the microphones and all the adapters and the camera and all that stuff. I just carry this little pouch with me. It has everything I need in it. But that kit I just linked, it has the stick, it has the batteries, it has all that stuff. 658 has a mic. Let me see. 658 has a mic. It must be the DJI mic, which I actually have and use. It is a fantastic microphone. So that microphone and the Osmo Action 3 are the DJI products I would 100% recommend for sure. And if you want a drone, get the DJI Mini 3 Pro. It is pretty badass, I got to admit. Although I'm finding out that I'm not supposed to be flying it in quite a few places. So I have a litany of footage that I will get in trouble for if I upload to YouTube, basically. The United States Forestry Service is litigating people now. They're suing people for footage that may or may not have been taken without a permit.
Yeah, even though we've had some
And the
super
big
impressive.
issue. So, by the way, the big issue with the permit, just so you know, you have to get it 60 plus days before you go to go film there.
Yeah, right. You
So
got to be solid
tell me-
planning.
Tell me what the weather's going to be like in 70 days or whatever, right? Is it going
Yeah,
to be
we've
raining?
had some mega windy days in the last couple of months, but my drone that I got stuck up a tree a few months ago still hasn't blown down.
It's still up there? Yikes.
That's such a big tree. It's well beyond me climbing up. I even took the extension ladder down there, which goes to like, 25, 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, still beyond climbing ability to get up to it. Who lets trees get so big?
Who lets them trees get so big? Mother. Mother does.
She does.
Mother Nature.
Nature.
She's au naturel. Does that mean that she's nude?
One would hope.
I would hope. If that day comes, I would hope.
All the curves in all the right places.
True.
Huawei. He's never seen an attractive person at a nude beach. You're going to the wrong nude beaches, Huawei.
That's true. That's true. I've been to a few, and I've seen some ridiculously attractive people there. I've also seen some not so. So I get.
I mean, definitely the latter is the more common.
Yeah.
But the former certainly exists. But yeah, it makes me turn around straight away and go, "Oh, I've come to the wrong beach. I'm not getting my tackle out at this environment." Crikey, we've rambled about some stuff today, haven't we?
What's that?
I said we've rambled about some stuff today.
Well, that's for sure. That's normally why we do this show, because there's just we're just you just go with it, baby.
You go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow.
I think Josh Homme sung it with a little bit more melody than that, but we still know what I mean. Got a new fridge delivered today. I had to. I mean, it's great nowadays that you can, remember the olden days, you get a new fridge and you had to let it sit for a little while before you could turn it on. But now you don't have to do that with fridges. You can plonk them down, switch it on, good to go. But this thing stunk. That new plastic smell that just reeks. So yeah, I switched it off as soon as the delivery guys left and just opened the doors for a little while. And yeah, let it stand for about an hour to let some of that plasticky stink out of it. And I've got everything from the fridge inside in a couple of fridges out here, and still got to reload that thing. I don't know why I digressed onto fridge.
Songs for the Deaf is a great album, by the way.
Yeah, it is. You won't get a disagreement from me on that.
Reminds me a lot of my dead buddy John. He loved Queens of the Stone Age, and then he died, and now he's dead.
But at least he loved them before he died.
Oh yeah, but his crazy brother is like a super Trumper, like anti-vax maniac. He's a psycho. And he still pops up on my feed every once in a while screaming about stuff. And I'm just like, I loved your brother. You're a jackass. Like, why are you talking to me? He's like a boat salesman in Arizona, and it's just like the only reason I don't block guys like that is because it's just a peer into the soul of like depravity, you know. It's like, what happened to you? Like, what was it that made you go this way? You know.
To maintain one's own normalcy, you have to have a looking glass into what everyone else is up to, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on over there? Like, what is happening?
What are they getting off on this week?
Yeah, I had some guy come onto my stream yesterday, and he was blathering on about how the Republicans are winning and they're a majority in the United States and blah 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 and all this stuff, because he was citing this like vote total, which is an interesting, ridiculous thing to quote. And the only place I could find that even quoted it was the Cook. What is it? Cook? Who are those guys? It's like this polling group that's like hyper Republican weirdos, the Cook Institute or whatever. And yeah, it's kind of funny because I did a bunch of reading to like try and figure out like why is this the talking point that one of the Kookaloos is coming up with. And it's the thread, it's the tiny thread that they're holding on to of, well, there was 54 million votes for Republicans candidates, and there was 52 million votes for Democratic candidates. But there was also like 22 Republican candidates that ran unopposed. So all those votes get lumped into the Republican total, right?
Yeah, right.
And so you're like, okay, that's a little bit weird. There was a couple of Democrats that ran unopposed, so let's remove those votes. But you know, it's the same thing as like weirdos that were going around talking about how Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. It's like, you lost the election. Like, who cares about the popular vote at this point? Because we're a representative republic, right? We're a representative republic of democratically elected representatives, right? You know, and we have this system, and you have to work within this system. Like, and if you lose, you lose. Like, that's how it is, right? So my whole thing is that like, if a political party in the U.S. wants to have continued success, they need to target places where they can win and build on that, because that's the only way there's going to be steps moving forward, right? And it seems to be this last election cycle, while I have many criticisms for areas where they could have focused on, they seem to apply that logic and have a majority in the Senate now. 4 more governors went from Republican to new Democrats taking over. The House of Representatives only shifted 9 seats. The Republicans have a pretty slim majority in the House, which normally the swing is like 40 seats, 50 seats to the opposition of whatever political party the president is in. So, and you just continue to go down the list of like, yeah, the Republicans had some success, but the level of success was so small in comparison to the historical midterms throughout the United States. You have to go all the way back to 1934 to find a comparable victory for the incumbent party to be maintaining the level of power that they were at, right? And that goes all the way back to what? Dwight D. Eisenhower. I think Eisenhower was the president at the time. And you kind of just go like, okay, take your lumps and move on. But no, it's the votes. You know, you're like, okay, well, you lost the spots. I mean, Lauren Boebert, Lauren Boebert, no one thought that she even had a chance of losing. I mean, in a county, or not a county, in a district that she was favored by like 12 points, which is a lot. That means that somebody is going to win 60% of the vote and 40% for the other candidate. She only won by 536 votes. out of 300,000. There's 330,000 votes. She almost lost in a county that was no expectation of even being close at all. So it's, I know that it's only a cursory interest for you, but
I'd really like to see in my lifetime getting rid of party politics and just making our elected positions like they have to do a job application, and the general public has to elect them in via their capability of doing the job, not because of their links with a political party. I think political parties should be gone.
right. And I mean,
Shitty system.
I feel where you're coming from, and I don't, I don't like disagree with the sentiment, right?
Very difficult to initiate.
Yeah.
I understand.
The big issue is that you would have to restrict so many people's freedoms in order to put that into place, right? That I don't think that the ends would justify the means, right? Like what you would have to do and restrict so much on so many millions of people, I don't think it's worth that. This might be a better outcome, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So
I don't
to
like
me,
it, but it does.
I think that there should be publicly funded elections. I think there should be compulsory voting. I think big steps like that where, so this last midterm, I believe voter turnout was 48.7%. And that was considered, oh my God, it's a record turnout for midterms, right? We didn't even hit half.
Yeah,
And that's a
I'm not
record
sure.
turnout. Right?
I don't even know if compulsory voting's an answer, because I don't think people give a fuck enough. I think people aren't educated enough on how to vote and where their vote counts and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people, if it was compulsory, are just going to go in and give false votes anyway because they don't know what they're doing or who they're voting for.
Right. But I think it should be a compulsory voting system that looks like this. If you don't vote, no tax refund. Sorry. No tax refund. That should be the penalty.
Gives them some incentive to learn the system, understand what you're voting for.
Yep. And if you don't vote and you don't get it done and you don't figure it out and get it going, you don't get any refund. Sorry, no refund on your taxes. You're ineligible now. And because the reality is that you wouldn't be taking anything away from somebody, right? You're not taking anything away. You're not restricting their freedom. You're not sending them to jail. You're not doing any of that stuff. It's like, oh, if you want this tax refund of having been overtaxed. I don't know what it works like in Australia. I don't think you guys even have tax refunds, but in the States, you essentially accidentally overpay, or you have exemptions on your taxes, right? So let's say they take out $5,000 over the year, and you say, oh, I have a baby and I bought a house and I get this, and this towards the credit of what taxes I already paid. They send you a check to make up the difference. They send it back to you, basically, right?
JRB. Brilliant. Holy Grail reference, I believe.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's the Holy Grail. Yeah. But like, so that's like my thing is that you're not taking anything away from people. What you're doing is like, oh, if you're a participant, you will be able to get these tax write-offs, right?
Yeah.
And I think it would motivate a lot of people, and maybe some people will be like, oh, I just don't care anyhow. It's like, okay, man, I don't know what else will convince you, but that's
money's
kind of
usually a good motivator.
Yeah. That's kind of the position that I hold on it, is that like, you're not going to punish somebody. You're not going to send them to jail. But if you want these credits back, participate, at least file the thing and do that, which would
It's
open up a lot. Which would open up a lot of reforms to the voting system in order to get people verified, to make sure the right people are voting. All of the stuff that even the conservatives complain about. With
Yeah,
voter ID and all this crazy nonsense that they keep
what
coming
are
up
you
with.
guys? You guys are like the fourth biggest population of humans in a country on the planet, and you don't have compulsory voting.
Yep.
It's an interesting situation. What are the next? You've got what? China, Indonesia, and India. I think are the three
I think that's
higher populations than you. I'd like to find out whether they've got compulsory voting. China doesn't vote, do they? They're a communist nation.
they don't really vote.
India, I believe.
Actually, United States is number 3. Number 3
in population.
Yep.
How does it go?
China, India, United States.
And is Indonesia fourth?
Indonesia is number 4.
Yeah, right. I do retain some facts.
China's at 1.43 billion, and India is at 1.38 billion. Wow,
it's wild, isn't it?
It is wild.
India's like 1/3 the land mass of the USA, roughly.
India is, yeah.
There got to be a lot of crammed in people over there. I must go one day just to check out how crowded it is.
I've definitely seen pictures of it and stuff, and it just seems insanely crowded. There's just people all over the place. I mean, it's wild.
I just want to go to India one day to play cricket with locals because they love their cricket over there.
Here's what's weird is that the land area of India is I guess we got to do this in square kilometers, right? 3.3 million kilometers squared. The US is 9.4 million, and China is actually 9.7 million. But so China has like similar landmass, but what, 4 times, almost 5 times the amount of people, whatever that is.
It's wild.
It's just wild to think that they're like,
and they still have so much like rural terrain and stuff. So those cities are going to be packed.
Yeah. I mean, the city's got to become it's just a sea of people wandering around, all on camera. By the way,
I suppose in the US's defense is there's quite a bit of arid, unusable land right through the Dust Bowl and whatnot, deserts and stuff that people can't necessarily inhabit.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles might deny that situation, but California, sorry, not Los Angeles. Let's build a city in the desert.
Right. So I think like as far as I'm concerned with the American system, I think that the compulsory voting, something like that needs to happen. There needs to be an expansion of the Senate and the House. We need a lot more representation for our much larger population. And I think as part of that expansion, that some of the representatives should be like jury duty candidates. They should be just randomly selected to serve for 2 years. It should be like the draft, You just get drafted and you got to go be a representative for 2 years. Like,
yeah, no, I don't hate that idea at all.
Yep, because it's like one of the reasons that the compensation and the way that our political system is designed in the States was so that it wouldn't be an impediment for you to go serve as a politician, right? So just think if you were like a fairly affluent person or whatever, you didn't want to just go be a politician for 4 years or 6 years or 2 years because you're like,
take a pay cut.
I'm not going to go take this gigantic pay cut to go do this. Like, what the hell? What are you talking about? So that's, people always ask her, like, why do, because I think representatives make like, what, 139,000 or 134,000 a year or something like that, which is a decent wage. And all your health insurance is covered, your retirement, pension. I think you become a pensioner if you are a repeat representative. I think if you do 4 years, so if you do 2 terms, you get a pension. I think if you do 2 terms, you get health care for the rest of your life, which is wild.
Yeah, it sounds
in the
similar
States.
to our system.
You guys just have health care. It's fucking absurd.
Yeah, but the our elected officials are entitled to a very, very reasonable pension for the rest of their lives once
Right.
they've served.
Yeah.
And there's it's certainly become an issue of contention in the past when, you know, an elected official has been quite a little bit dodgy in their role, and you know, they
Right.
still get paid by the government until they die, even though they were a shit prick while they were in their job.
Yeah.
Elected job.
Oh, well, hey buddy, it's 10:15.
Yeah, let's knock it off, eh?
Yeah, we gotta
Nip
We
it
gotta-
in the bud.
bag this. We gotta bag this till later. Hey, I'm thinking about playing online Risk. What do you think?
Oh, Risk, online Risk, as in the world domination board game that used to be a thing in the 80s.
Yeah, there's an online version of it. People be playing.
I've
And
not heard of it.
they'd be posting it on YouTube, you know. People like it.
I could never understand why Kamchatka was such a huge territory on the Risk board game.
No one will ever know.
No, they won't. But apparently it had some, maybe there was gold or oil there or something that made it worth such a hefty slab of the board.
Yeah. And it's a transitional piece to get over to the North America.
Yeah.
Get over there. I'm invading from Kamchatka.
It still boggles me to this day why Kamchatka was so big.
And why it was even on there.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this?
No one even knows what it is nowadays.
Yeah. Wasn't Mongolia on there? I think Mongolia was on there too.
Possibly. I'm pretty sure it's the old original board game is buried in a cupboard indoors.
It's got to be.
Man, my brother used to play it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I haven't taken over the world already. The amount of times that I played Risk as a kid.
It's a matter of world domination. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I might have to get into that.
Yeah.
Send me a link or something so I know where to start.
We'll figure it out. All right, bud. I gotta go.
Right. I'll wait for you to go. Then I'll do all these goodbyes and stuff on my own, I guess.
You got it. Bye-bye.
See ya. Oh, even reverse psychology doesn't work on that dude. Why? Anyway, it was fun to be back, people. Nearly 3 hours. Remember, like almost 3 hours ago when I was saying that this would be just a short stream because I just need to do the t-shirt draw, and then I've got so many jobs to do. I've still got all those jobs to do. Congratulations, Fish Dreams. I think Fish Dreams is probably well asleep now. Fish Dreams was the illustrious winner of the Scunge Princess t-shirt. Thanks GRB and Huawei for doing your mod duties after all of these weeks off that I've given you so liberally and without demand of anything while you've had your time off. Well done, you two. Thanks for the flies that continually attacked me through this entire episode. We've had an interesting summer. It's been cold, but today it decided to be hot again. Thank you, summer, for your input. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Again, I'm not 100% certain whether I'll be on next week, but I'll give it my bloody darndest to be back. Look after yourselves. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see yous when I'm looking at yous.